Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second of 4 presentations regarding the potential for a pool replacement project. My name is Dave Hunter. I currently serve as the board president. I want to point to the fact that on the cover slide of the presentation, you see the word preliminary. This is a preliminary member presentation. And before I turn it over to Nathan Freeland, our general manager, and Mark Dorsey from Medallion Pools for the balance of the presentation, I want to kind of share with you how we've gotten to the point of making this preliminary presentation and what it means. Back in February of this year, in the first quarter board meeting, the board announced that we were going to engage a pool design company to undertake a design for the potential replacement of the existing Conisty Falls pool. We ultimately engaged Medallion Pools and Mark Dorsey. Also in February, the board published to members for member feedback and comment a new board policy called Leading Significant Change at Conisty Falls. We put that out for member comments. We received member comments. We, where appropriate, integrated those comments into the final board policy, which was approved by the board at the May board meeting. And what that policy says is that when we undertake significant change at Conisty Falls, member engagement is a key component, a non-negotiable. We have got to make the effort, take the steps to solicit member feedback and input as we consider change or major projects at Conisty Falls. So in June, we sent out a pool survey to our members. It was open for 2 weeks, June 16th to June 28th. 618 surveys were completed, along with, not surprisingly, given that this is Conisty Falls, 800 comments accompanied the surveys. Ideas, thoughts, concerns. It was the input from those surveys that led us to make the recommendation that you're going to see tonight. Again, this is a preliminary recommendation, and we are going to hear from you tonight. Are there any pickleballers? Never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. We know there's a group of pickleballers here tonight. In the first meeting that was held on Monday, we got significant feedback on a number of issues. Let me just refer to a couple of those real quickly. We heard about pool depth from the Deepwater Aerobics folks. We heard about encroachment on the pickleball courts, concerns about perhaps flooding the courts or loss of direct sunlight. We heard comments about lap lanes, that if we're going to propose an exercise, activity, and wellness pool, it needs to be 75 feet in length. We heard about competing priorities for funds. There's an opportunity cost associated with doing this project. If we do this project based upon the member vote, there's not likely to be funds available for an additional capital project going out a number of years. Although we do have those projections, right, Keith Butler, Finance Committee Chair? So we heard that in the first night, along with some other things, the spa, lengthening the season, the fact that if we lengthen the season by heating a smaller pool, you still have to walk in frigid air to your towel and robe. I'm not sure what we do about that, but we heard it. And we're going to take it under advisement and consideration. What you share with us tonight will receive the same treatment. We want to hear from you. We want to get the value, the benefit of your input. And so I'm really looking forward to tonight's presentation. We hope that you will think of questions and share them with us and share your thoughts and your ideas so that we have the benefit of having as much information and data as possible as we move forward on this project. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Nathan Freeland. And Nathan is going to do the first part of the presentation, and then he'll turn it over to Mark Dorsey, who will share the vision with you. We will come back for a Q&A at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Mark and I know that we stand between dinner and happy hour, so we know what's at stake this evening. So we'll get right to it. We'll dive in, and that's pun intended. So this evening's agenda, we'll go through the executive summary. We'll talk a little bit about the history of the pool and how we got here this evening. The pool survey and what members identified as their priorities within the survey. Mark will walk us through his vision and the design for the current pool concept. We'll talk about next steps and how we go from here. We'll give some thank yous to the people that help us get to this point, and we'll end with Q&A. So the executive summary, this is, we'll put emphasis, this is a preliminary recommendation for the CFPOA pool replacement project. Final recommendation is pending on a few items here. Final project pricing, which is currently estimated at $3.5 million. We are waiting on the receipt of general contractor bids. A final funding plan anticipated to primarily utilize amenity reserves as well as an incremental contribution from the existing capital reserve, which we reserve for the pool. Following that, we will have a finance committee review and financial analysis of the proposed funding plan. Final determination of the soil condition and suitability for construction. Current funding projections do not anticipate a special assessment to fund construction. The current pool complex has been in service since 1997, 1998. It is nearing the end of its useful life. Since that time, the number of homes in Conisty has nearly doubled to 1,500. The top 5 recommendations from the 2026 pool survey were maintaining a quality amenity for future generations at 59%, managing long-term maintenance costs at 49%, supporting fitness, exercise, and wellness classes at 39%, extending the pool season at 33%, and supporting recreational and family use at 31%. The pool replacement project can only go forward by membership vote. The CFPOA Facilities Planning Committee and Board believe a 2-pool solution best meets these member expectations, and today's presentation will illustrate why. So a little bit of history. As previously mentioned, the current pool has been in place since 1997, 1998, but the original pool was in service from 1973 to 1997, so for about 24 years. The original pool serviced 400 residences. The pool was approximately 60,000 gallons with a very small footprint, or a ratio of about 150 gallons per residence. The typical gated community market expectation is 90 gallon per residence. The GM at the time, Rick Wade, in the November 1997 Conisty Falls News stated the swimming pool renovation has started. When complete, the pool complex should meet our needs now and well into the future, and will be planned to open for the Memorial Day weekend. The current pool has serviced the community for 28 years, currently has 100,000 gallon capacity, and at the time serviced 800 homes or 125 gallons per residence. The residential density is currently close to 1,500 homes here in Coniston at a ratio of 66 gallons per resident, which is below the market expectation of 90 gallon per residence for gated communities. Expected build out in 20 years is expected to be close to 1,700 homes. So the current pool, again, is in service for 28 years and is beyond or at its useful life. Continue to have increasing repair needs and aging equipment and components that are also reaching their useful life. Aging infrastructure, including restrooms, changing areas, requires significant reinvestment. The community, again, has grown from 800 to 1,500 homes since the pool was constructed. The pool replacement and modernization have been studied for more than a decade. Previous planning has considered both recreational and fitness and wellness needs. So the pool survey and the member priorities identified within the survey. So we have a core demographics dilemma. The survey identified multiple pool concept preferences. Community feedback highlights a challenging diversity of user priorities caused by two distinctive resident user groups differentiated by pool usage and their own needs. So the demographic breakdown, we have fitness and wellness users. They seek structured exercise, water aerobics, low impact activity. They value predictable conditions for fitness and wellness programming. On the other hand, we have recreational and family users seeking recreational swimming, family activity, social use, who value flexibility and unstructured swimming and play. So our main dilemma, how do we integrate everyone's wants and needs into a one pool, everything design that supports a community the size of Coniston with expected future growth and diverse pool priorities? So what matters most for a new pool? Members were asked to rank their priorities for the future of the pool facility. 59%, again, it said maintaining quality amenity for future generations. 49% stated managing long-term maintenance costs. 39% supporting fitness, exercise, and wellness. 33% extending the pool season. 31% supporting recreational and family use. 25% for maintaining strong reserve funding. A comprehensive analysis of the survey results identified the current limitations. 82% long-term viability as important or very important. 55% aging infrastructure as the greatest limitation. 36% crowding is the greatest limitation, or 28% is the lack of fitness and wellness space as a limitation. But what are the facility's greatest shortfalls that members identified? Again, 55% cited aging infrastructure and mechanical systems. 37% crowding during peak periods. 28% limited fitness and wellness space. 24% limited deck or seating space. 22% short seasonal operating window. 19% lack of accountability features. Flexibility features, excuse me. 16% no significant limitations whatsoever. So the operational impacts that we face today. Scheduling friction. For many years, our staff has faced constant pressure to divide the limited hours between these different user groups. We have open swim and recreational users. We have lap lane swimmers, aerobics class participants, walk exercisers, and ambulatory users. The member dissatisfaction. All demographic groups report their core expectations are compromised, affecting demand and enjoyment. Many have stopped coming to avoid conflicts or due to the lack of adequate lounging space. Safety risks. High intensity recreational swimming overlaps with therapeutic users. Lap lane dividers are either ignored or compromised, caused by the water to be turbulent, impacting structured swimming. A conclusion, a single footprint is no longer sufficient for our growing community. With this, we'll get into the vision, and I will turn it over to Mark Dorsey from Medallion Pools. No? I think your mic's maybe buried there. Maybe we abandon that and go handheld. Bueller. All right. IT likes to sabotage me with these things too.
Hello.
There we go.
All right. So y'all saw that the 16% of the community said there's no need for any improvements. Is that who we have here tonight? Okay. Check. Sorry. All right. So let me I think it's the video. The video, Larry, did you add it in? Let you play button, Larry. All right, let me let you look at that for just a second. Because unless you've seen it, everybody's oriented by where the pickleball courts are. Correct. What?
There you go.
There you go. Thanks. It's off screen. Your bocce ball court's up to the right. You see we've got two pools. One on the right is the wellness pool. So we're going to focus on the family pool here for just a second. Primary focus, obviously, recreational swimming, active play, and family use. There's separation, allows active recreational swimming, structured fitness programming to occur simultaneously. So you see right here, that's a zero entry. Bubblers there at the entry of that can be turned on and off. Maybe you have those on for weekends and maybe when a lot of grandkids and younger kids are here. So that's zero entry. You've got two wet shelves, sun shelves. If you guys are from, anybody from Florida, I think y'all call them sun shelves. 8 inches deep, basically. It's a good lounging area, good place to sit and have a conversation. You've got benches on this side. The maximum depth right here in the middle is about 5 feet. Buddy, last meeting was real concerned about that. North Carolina, I'll address the depth in a couple of ways. Obviously, 5 feet is going to hit. I'm nearly 6 feet tall. These boots on, I actually am. 5 feet hits me about my chin, maybe a little lower. So I can stand up and I can walk in that. North Carolina has some of the strictest commercial pool code requirements of anywhere in the country. Maybe Florida, maybe New York, or similar in regulations. If we go deeper than 5 feet in any part of any commercial pool, there has to be a rope dividing that off. So you can see that to go deeper than that in this pool scenario really doesn't make a lot of sense. It would really confuse the usage. Swim capacity provides capacity to accommodate increase. This pool is actually several hundred feet bigger than your current pool. Okay. We'll notice, you can see it, the back of your pickleball court, you pickleball people know you've got a little asphalt area and some utility buildings back here. This wall is actually even with that. And by the way, we're not doing anything to the pickleball courts. I'll get into that more in a few minutes. Oh, nice job, Larry. Larry added this for us. 0 entry here, 3.5 feet, 5 in the middle. You can kind of see that. 0 entry, it's just, some people call it a beach entry. Good question. It's just starts off at, if I'm standing on the pool deck, it's just going to start off at a 10% slope till it gets to all the way down to 3.5 feet. Yeah. We try to do the best we can to not make an environment like this look institutional. So we can introduce some plantings, as you see here. That helps kind of define this 0 entry area. Adds some softness, adds some vertical elements to it as well. You see, we've got an open air pavilion here. You've got the restrooms, and you've also got, you notice right here, you've got a pass through and a gate to the pickleball courts. So you guys can come right through that gate and immediately get to ice machines, water fountains, and bathrooms. You've also got a shower, a full ADA shower in each bathroom for you to use. I'll go ahead and say this about the pavilion. We are making provision to be able to enclose that with clear screens. You may have seen those that zip down, roll down. I think that'll be a nice feature in the fall and winter when you encounter cooler temperatures. This shaded area to the left is primarily focused on the wellness pool, which we'll get to in just a second. Your fitness and wellness pool, that's looking from under that shaded covered area. You've got 3 lap lanes. Currently, we've got it drawn at 70 feet long. One of your neighbors was pretty sure about, pretty insistent that 75 really does matter to you swimmers. Do we have swimmers also here? And I get that. I mean, you get used to that. If you're used to that cadence and that number of strokes before you make a turn, I think we can accommodate that. I'm not promising anything, but I think we can accommodate that. This pool also has an automatic cover. When I say automatic cover, I'm going to go ahead and explain that. I know many of you know what I mean. It's a cover that runs underneath the coping on each side. So that would be underneath the coping on the far end would be the vault. That's completely hidden. Then at a press of a button, the turn of a key, the entry of a code, that opens or closes. The benefit to that is it gives you year-round usage at very, very low operating cost. To operate a pool in this climate year-round, you really need to have an automatic cover. On our residential side of construction, we do a lot of automatic covers. We do automatic covers on vanishing edge pools, all kinds of pools. Because we actually, and I tell people this and it's true, we live in a climate where you actually get the most benefit out of an automatic cover. We have cool nights, we have cool summer nights even sometimes, as you all know. It's probably one of the big reasons you're all here and want to live in this area. So the automatic cover is a big deal for your therapeutic, for your exercise, for your classes. And you can run those into the cooler months or even year round, whatever you choose to do. Of the cover? If you give me your email, I'll send you a picture. Or if you go on my website, you can see me walking on a cover on a YouTube video for HGTV. MedallionPool.com. It's on the far end over here. And when it's open, the bar will actually come underneath the coping. It'll be almost invisible when the cover's open. You'll be pleased with it. Let's hold your questions to the end unless it's something quick that I need to clarify to explain. I don't mind you speaking up at all. I kind of enjoy it actually. All right. The depth of this pool, we're looking at 6 to 6.5 feet for you deep water aerobics people. We're kind of tossing this ramp. You know, the ADA, we're required to have an ADA access to the pool. You can do that in 3 or 4 different ways. The ramp is one. Everybody's seen those chair lifts that kind of lower you down into the water. That's a means. There's some other things that probably don't apply to this pool, but yeah. There's going to be some questions about that wellness pool. Hope I covered everything. Here's a nice view of the front. You can see that one thing that I noticed when Nathan and I first met out here was the need for separation from the pickleball court to the pool space, the poolscape, the pool environment. There was a few of you guys over there playing, and I mean, we were having a hard time having a conversation. Just the noise, you know, the dinking and I play pickleball, by the way. I'm sure I'm probably a 1.5 or something, but probably some 4s and 5s in this room. But we're improving your entrance as well visually and I think functionally to the entrance to your pickleball court. You've got some shade here. Got hopefully some improvements to the drainage in that area. We're going to add on to this wall that separates these front 2 courts, add some landscaping. And I will go ahead and say that you notice the shape of the roof, the slope of the roof of the bathroom structure right here. It's angled, shedding toward the court. So if you hit a ball up there, it's going to roll right back to you. We're going to put obviously we're going to put gutter guards over the gutters so it doesn't trap your ball. There's going to be also padding on the back of that building. The back of that building, I know this has come up.
The next slide, I think there's a better view of that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Larry added some of my renderings to the presentation. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, nice job, Larry. Y'all need to thank Larry. Larry has worked countless hours with me, with Nathan as well. It's just been a joy to work with. So y'all notice the steps. I didn't say this. I'm going to jump back just a little bit for a second. You notice the steps coming out of the pavilion. Obviously, that's not. This is your handicap access through this gate right here to the pool environment. So there will be your courts currently drain toward the pool deck, right? I don't know if you knew that or not. So this building, there'll be a large trench drain, more than capable of carrying that water off your court and not ponding on your court. So where your current fence is, just imagine at that point there'll be a graded, smooth graded covered trench drain, and then you've got the padding in the back of the building. Does that make sense? You're not losing it. You're actually probably going to gain about a foot right there. All right. And there's your pavilion. That's a good shot of your pavilion. You've got a handicap ramp right here. And a nice little covered seating area for classes and your exercising. That pavilion is wide open. I think the only thing we've put in or proposed right now is a little small in that right-hand corner, a little small counter sink. No bar, you're wide open. It's a very flexible space. Kind of see my attempt to render those plastic. Software didn't do a very good job on the plastic. Roll down enclosure. All right, I think this is where Nathan comes back in. I will look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, so let's get back to why a two-pool solution is being recommended. So if we rank the member priorities in the left column here as a quality amenity for future generations, and if we break it down into the two-pool solution, a one-pool solution, or doing nothing, which of those achieves these? So a quality amenity for future generations, a two-pool solution does, a one-pool solution does, doing nothing does not. Managing long-term maintenance costs does with both pools, doing nothing does not. Optimizing support for fitness, exercise, and wellness, a two-pool solution achieves that, a one-pool solution does not. Optimizing family and recreational pools or use, a two-pool solution does, a one-pool solution does not. Extending the pool season, a two-pool solution achieves this, a one-pool solution does not. We look at next steps. So as previously mentioned, we're currently proposing $3.1 million from the amenity fund and an incremental amount that we already reserved for in the capital reserve for the pool at $400,000, and a total project cost of $3.5 million is the current estimated cost, which includes a 10% contingency. With that, existing amenity and pool capital reserves are currently contemplated as the funding source for the project. Final project cost and funding will be, recommendations will be developed following the receipt of the general contractor bids and finance committee review along with a financial analysis. The financial analysis will consider reserve fund balances, future reserve funding needs, and the long-term impact of the project. Based on current estimates, a special assessment is not anticipated to fund construction. So our proposed timeline. So currently, late in August and into this month, general contractor bids, final project and pricing is received. Again, late into this month and in September, Finance Committee will review a funding analysis and reserve impacts reviewed as well. In September as well, our final recommendation and member notice, final project scope, cost, and funding. If all those stars align, we would aim to conduct a member vote in October. Should the membership vote in favor of a project, phase 1 in November and December was when demolition would begin. In January, for phase 2, construction would begin. In March, or phase 3, the pool would be complete and auxiliary buildings constructed. In April, for phase 4, the pool deck finishing and the furnishings would be ordered. In May, June, or phase 5, certification, testing, and landscape would be complete with a targeted opening date of July 2027. So a significant question, will our annual POA assessment increase to fund the project? And again, based on the current $3.5 million project estimate, no increase in the annual POA assessment is currently anticipated to fund construction. The preliminary funding concept utilizes existing amenity and pool capital reserves. Final funding recommendation will follow receipt of general contractor bids and Finance Committee review and financial analysis. Will a special assessment be required? Again, based on the current project estimate and preliminary funding concept, a special assessment is not anticipated. And following receipt of the general contractor bids, the Finance Committee will evaluate the proposed funding structure, remaining reserve fund balances, and future reserve funding requirements. So current pool versus new pool. So we currently have 9 umbrellas on the deck. We would be going to 40. The water surface area is currently at 3,080 for the main pool and 240 for the smaller area that we currently have. The community pool would grow to 3,850 square feet, and the fitness and wellness pool would be at 1,800 square feet. Mark, I believe total gallons combined would be 160,000 gallons versus our current 100,000 gallon capacity. Is that correct? Pretty close, okay. Our current deck space is 8,780 square feet. We'd be going to just shy of 10,000 square feet of deck surface. We'd have 1,530 square feet of artificial turf and additional 1,400 square feet under roof under the pavilion. Seating, we currently have 9 chase loungers, 11 tables and 39 chairs. We'd be going to 9 deck loungers, 32 deck chairs with 8 umbrella tables. I think there it goes. 24 chairs under the roof, as well as 40 side lounge tables for the deck loungers. So a few thank yous. We wanted to thank the Facilities Planning Committee for helping us get to this point. This team has invested a significant amount of time and effort in developing a comprehensive understanding of the marketplace, considering design alternatives, industry trends, gated community benchmarks, engineering considerations, and related factors influencing the project. The unique aspect of this initiative has been our collaboration with Medallion as subject matter experts to refine and finalize design details, including rendering, RFP documentation, vendor evaluations, and other critical project components. This collaborative approach accelerated the project timeline while achieving an unprecedented level of detail for a capital project at this stage, fostering meaningful cross-functional exchange of ideas and enabling more informed, data-driven decision-making. I want to thank our Facilities Planning Committee with Dan Glassow as our chair, Bradley Caldwell, Joe Laps, Bill Mills, Ed Thomas, Vic Tipstra, Vince Tidwell, Chip Webb, Larry Rourke as our board liaison. All right, so Q&A. One second real quick.
Okay, we're now at the point where we're going to entertain questions and answers. The usual rules that we use in the board meetings will apply. Please state your name for the record. Ask your question or make your comment. There is a 3-minute time limit so that everyone gets a chance. Once everyone has had a chance and we've cycled through those that are interested in asking a question, you are more than welcome to return to the microphone for a follow-up. Please don't interrupt other speakers, and there will be a detailed list of questions and answers for all the sessions that'll be distributed. The questions tonight, just like the questions and comments of Monday, are being compiled by our very capable board secretary, Marty Hodgkins. Marty will also be the keeper of the egg timer that he will set for 3 minutes. And so when you do hear the egg timer, we appreciate everyone's cooperation. And with that, I would invite Larry and Mark and Nathan up front, and we will do our best to answer your questions. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Leanne Ely. I am the president of the Pickleball Club, and I represent all the members that are here. Would you please stand up, please? We will be out in force. Just saying.
Welcome. We're
Thank
glad you're
you.
here.
We're glad to be here. Dan Glasgow, who you just remarked about just a minute ago, sent me this email this morning. He said, "Hi, Leanne. Currently, we are planning on fencing off the 2 courts closest to the pool to act as a staging area for construction," which goes directly against what you just said. "It would be probably from November through June, give or take. We thought with the Florida folks gone, it may not impact us too much. And Nathan has promised to resurface back all 4 courts. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm planning on being there tonight also." Cool. So here's the deal. You guys are saying that you're not going to do that, and yet you're saying that you are going to do that according to my records. So what is it? What are you going to do? Are you going to take out our courts? The courts that we just resurfaced and redid a few years ago and spent a pretty penny on, and now you're going to take them out as a staging area for construction?
I don't know where that came from.
Okay, well, one other thing I want to point out. We have a member in our pickleball club who redoes courts and rebuilds them, pickleball courts in Florida, and is a member of our pickleball club. And he said there is no way that it will be a matter of resurfacing. It will have to start over because it will destroy the infrastructure of our courts.
I don't know where that came from as a contractor as well.
okay.
I would never use that that's not a great stage. I would never even think about putting equipment
Where are you going to put the staging area?
on the pool side.
On the pool side? Where? There's nowhere to put it on the pool side. You've got a building there, you've got a pool. Where are you going to put it?
Don't need a lot of.
I don't think your lab mic is working.
It's not.
No.
Leanne, let me help. I'm Larry Rourke, for those of you that
Hi,
don't
Larry.
know me.
My
Hi,
neighbor.
how you doing? We have never had a discussion about that, so I want to reinforce our desire. We've done everything we can to this point in time and realize that once we get into construction, we may run across hurdles that we've got to deal with, but we're trying desperately up front to make sure, and we've worked with Mark on this, to make sure that we're not intruding anywhere that you think into the pickleball area, other than we have to worry about the drainage and fix that for the future. We have to make sure that we've got our equipment being stored in the pool area. Our demolition is not going to be involved in doing any demolition to your courts. The fence is going to come down. The
No.
structures,
That's demolition of our courts. You take that fence down.
well, let me finish. And our desire is that we were going to put a temporary fence up for that as we're building that structure. In regards to the time frame that you mentioned, let me go back to that. The construction, the demolition is not going to start until probably late November, early December. Actual construction, if you look at the schedule that Nathan talked about, we expect to have the structures fully in by the end of March. So we should have your courts available at that point in time. This, either you're going to have this year that we're going to have to replace the pool, or we're going to have to do it next year.
I'm not, okay, but my question is, you're going to impede on our courts. That's my statement, because it's based on everything that you've said. You're going to take our fence down, therefore, our courts 3 and 5 will be unplayable. And this is during high season.
Okay, let me comment on that, Leanne. Thank you for the input. Whenever you have a major capital project like this, there are disruptions, there are interruptions, there are decreased, diminished levels of service and member satisfaction. That's a given. I was talking to one of your pickleballers before we started the meeting. They're building a traffic circle up in Cedar Mountain. They've put out the semaphore stoplights as a precursor to starting that project. That project is going to add, a simple project like that is going to adversely impact parking, frontage, access for some period of time. Some impact will happen. We don't know for sure at this point. What the board is saying is we'll do our absolute best to minimize that. You know, we're a community of 1,700 owners. We know that pickleball is important.
We have 300 members.
I understand. I
Plus.
thought it was 400.
Well, give or take. A lot of
Okay.
people aren't here during
Okay.
the high season.
So it's important. So is the pool. So is the golf course. So is the dining function. And whenever you undertake a capital project like this, you're going to have those issues. The commitment from the POA is to minimize those as much as possible. And, you know, let's circle back around based on this feedback. If you have additional detail that you would like to share with us, we'd love to have it so that we can address it.
Well, we've just redid courts 3, 4, 5, and 6 a few years ago.
Right.
It put those courts out of service for 3 to 4 months. The cost, I don't know, but I recall it was somewhere in the $50,000, $60,000 range. Thank you. $80,000 range.
Okay.
We're going to jeopardize that? I mean, you know, I look at it like you guys just redid the bathrooms and now we're going to tear it all down in the, why did we do that? It's money that our PO, that we are spending as owners here. And now you're going in and you're going to mess things up. And
So
all
let
of
me
that,
ask you this, Leanne. Is your solution to do nothing
my
with the pool?
solution, no. My solution is this. My solution is you leave the pickleball courts alone. You move things out a little bit. You keep that, your little thing that you want to build right there. Don't have the, you know, the roof slanting over us. We all know what a storm does around here. It's like, you know, you got a shed roof, you've got all that stuff coming in. You take away our airflow and all of that. Give us a 3-foot buffer
Okay.
or something. And then build your drain and what have you, but keep it off of the courts. Right now, it's going to slam right onto the courts. I looked at the renderings. We're all looking at that. We're saying there's no airflow.
Okay.
We need to protect those courts. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
I don't
we-
wanna see them messed
Leanne,
up.
Leanne, the board is not in opposition to what you're saying. Okay? We hear you.
Exactly.
What was that?
Everybody's saying you're not?
No,
But
we're
you
not.
are. You're saying you're going to take down the fence. That's going to mess up our courts.
We will take your
Keep
input.
everything, keep the pool construction in the pool construction area and leave the damn pickleball courts alone.
And what I have
That's
said,
what I'm
Leanne,
saying.
is we're going to do our best to minimize the impact to the pickleball community.
Sorry, but that's-
Thank you.
I'm done.
Craig Wilson, 31 West Court. I've been here about 12 years. I was the volunteer designer of the pickleball court expansion that was done 6, 7 years ago. We didn't hire an architect, we didn't hire an engineer, didn't hire a surveyor. I plotted it up on Google Earth, drew it up to scale, got Spencer to come out there with the instruments, shot all the elevations, figured all that out, and we built it. And it works. But we didn't do anything with the drainage. That was to be addressed at some point in the future, when in the grand plan, they were going to redo the pool and the drainage. And so then we overlaid the 4 courts that Leanne was talking about, and I got involved in all the dimensions on the court layout. You got to have 7 feet from the sideline to the fence. That's all you got is 7 feet. If you put the drain on the pickleball side of that fence, now you don't have 7 feet. You have whatever it is, 6 feet, 5.5 feet. Then you're stepping on the drain cover. You got a safety hazard. We get snow, we get ice. That drain cover is going to get slippery in the wintertime. So my suggestion, this remedies a couple problems. I try to come with solutions, not just with problems. Put the drain on, leave the fence where it is, leave it up during construction, put the new drain on the pool side of that fence. That way, the pickleballs don't go flying over where the guys are working on the swimming pool. And you don't have to put up a temporary fence. You already got one. And if that, whatever the width of that trench drain is, whether it's 12 inches or something, that's a pretty big drain. If that means you got to push the site plan over a foot to make up for that, probably not. Nobody's going to put their pool chairs right up against the fence anyway. So that's my suggestion. Move the drain over there. And there's a problem with that catch basin that's right there between the two pickleball courts. It does not properly drain. There's a puddle of standing water. It gets ice in the winter. I slipped on it, on the black ice, hit. I didn't sue. I didn't call Morgan & Morgan, but I think that'll get straightened out with everything coming up. Thank you.
We appreciate. Craig, thank you for the feedback and the suggestion, and we appreciate your forbearance with regards to not calling Morgan & Morgan.
I remember when that happened. I'm Cheryl Manzone, 453 Stasti Drive. I was here for the Monday meeting. In comparison, your new slides on this presentation, thumbs up. Nice job. You really added some good information with the things that were done. So thanks for that.
Larry made us do that.
Yeah, that was good. No one has ever stated out loud that the recreational pool will be heated. So I'm just going to ask, will the recreational pool be heated? We've talked about the wellness pool.
Of course.
So yes, okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure. I had some questions last time. They were answered. I went back and listened to your answers again, so I could kind of do that. And I went back and looked at the renderings and stuff. The AED currently lives over by the bocce court entrance and the the gate to the pool entrance. I can't see that far in your renderings. I'm assuming the AED will be left in the same place. Is that correct?
No, we're moving it.
Where are you moving it?
Your 88 access to the.
No,
pool.
she's saying AED.
No, the AED, the shocker
The
when you have a
defibrillator.
heart
We could
attack.
put that, we
Oh,
could put that anywhere.
Okay.
I thought
We
she
could put it in
misspoke.
between the bathrooms. We could literally mount it anywhere to the structure.
Okay, and with that response, I want to tell you why it is where it is.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a few years ago at the pickleball facility, we did have fatality from cardiac arrest. At the time, the AED was on the back wall of the bathroom building, inside the locked gate. After that occurrence, it was moved out into the parking lot to make it accessible and not ever be behind a locked gate again. So please leave it there if you can.
How about if we add another one?
I mean, you add another one, that's a bonus, sure,
Yeah,
always.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing I want to just ask about, currently on the pool facility, there are light poles with lighting. There's two on the pickleball court pool side, and there's one over by the kid pool. Those are not in your renderings anymore. I'm assuming you're taking those out and putting lighting on the buildings and stuff. Is that correct?
Your lighting will be comparable to what you've got now or better.
Okay, because on those two light poles between the pickleball courts and the pool, there are two lights that focus light on court 3 to allow people to play in the fall and winter when it gets dark. So
Yeah,
just making,
we've talked about that.
okay, super.
Obviously, we can't get everything in a rendering.
Yeah, okay, just wanted to make sure you thought of that. Diana Allen from Pickleball asked about the front parking area by court 1. And in your rendering, again, I can tell that you're leaving that retaining wall. And you had talked to her response about filling to kind of bring that level of the parking lot up. Can you kind of explain that a little bit more? Because I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm echoing. Currently, about half of your parking lot, as you know, goes to that big catch basin that you mentioned that's between the courts, the pickleball courts. Everybody knows about it. It's in front
So
of that.
you're talking about the big grate that's in
big
the
grate,
middle
yeah.
of the social area in front of the planter?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Mike needs to get a little closer to your mouth.
Oh, thanks.
Excuse me, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just waiting for your response. You were
So the
speaking.
drainage there is just kind of, it needs some improvement. I'm actually surprised your pool deck doesn't flood during the rain because you're draining the entire pickleball, those back four courts
Yes, toward the pool.
onto the pool deck, and it's just these little spot drains, I call them.
Yep.
That are every 20 feet or more. I can't believe that you don't have those filling up and backing up onto the court during a thunderstorm.
No, what I'm talking about is by the side of Court 1, for lack of a better
I don't know
word.
what the numbers, is
Okay,
one, the
Court
first,
1 is the court near
First
the
two that
parking
stand
lot
alone.
front end.
yeah.
Do you want to pull up the rendering of the front of the facility? Would that be helpful?
Okay, I get where you're talking about now.
Okay.
So,
So right now, there's kind of like that.
Segmental wall.
There's a retaining wall and then there's a trench, basically, between the
Yeah.
court and the,
we're not gonna
you're-
touch any of that.
okay,
All I'm proposing that we do is because now when we
There.
fix the drainage,
yeah. There's the one that'll help us, thanks.
when we, see, everything's funneling to right here. where-
Right into there,
To
correct?
that big drain. Well, this wall is just a segmental wall. It's just loosely stacked. Everybody's seen it, right?
Mhm.
That's not a waterproof wall. The only reason it's not, it's just kind of, there's kind of a small, slight valley shooting through there where that person's standing. I want to add the landscaping to soften this. I want to bring that wall up a little bit more. We'll probably just take that wall out and pour a proper wall that's waterproof so that you don't get any migration of soil moisture onto this,
Onto Court 1.
onto this area behind
Yeah.
the wall. It's,
That would be great
Yeah.
if you improved the wall. Don't take the wall away.
no, I'm gonna raise it up.
Yeah,
I'm proposing
okay.
to
I
raise it
understand
up a
what you're
little bit
Thank you.
and make it waterproof, make it an actual retaining wall.
My only
you.
suggestion, leaving the wall, that landscaping that's in this rendering along the side of Court 1, please don't put that in. What you're doing is you're putting in, that's going to cause shadowing on our court, which will interfere with play. And based on those arborvitae or whatever those trees are, the possibility that roots will grow down under and compromise our court surface. So I would leave that landscaping completely off, personally.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Richard Brightman. I'd like to first thank everybody for their time in putting all this together and doing all the planning. I have a couple of questions. I'll just state the questions, then I'll have a seat and listen to responses. First of all, what, if any, effect on the golf course? Will there be any encroachment by the new retaining wall onto the number 10 tee? Second, what, if any, effect on the parking? Will there be any encroachment of the new facility on the parking's facility? So those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Nathan? Nathan, you want to answer that on the?
Yeah.
on- Mark?
I counted the number of parking spaces after that first meeting because it came up then. It's a net loss of about 4 spots is all.
Want to hit the wall? Feet were going out.
Oh, the wall, no effect at all on the golf course. You've got a really good buffer there. Actually, it'll probably be improved. You've got a drain down there, a catch basin that when we looked at it, when was that, Monday, it was covered over with leaves. So if you had had a big rain, anything coming from this area, the pickleball court, everything drains that way. If you had a big rain, you've got a river across your course. So I think when we get in there, clean that up, we are going to have to remove about 7 trees. We're going to try to keep a couple of big ones. This one right here in the rendering I actually put in, you've got a couple of really nice large trees that I think I'm sure we can keep. You've got a couple of really nice ones on the right side that we're going to be able to keep. But there's about 7 I counted in the middle here that are going to have to go. But the new wall will clean up a really ugly bank. If anybody's walked back there and looked over, it's riprap, there's debris, there's kind of a partial wall. There's a lot of just weeds and brush. So anyway, yeah, I would say would be an improvement to your course.
Thanks, Mark.
Next question.
Yep, Al Pacheco. Afternoon, everybody. So a couple of just kind of high-level questions. One of them is on trade-off of 1 versus 2 pool solution. Is there something that's been published out that says, hey, I know that right now we're thinking about building a 2 pool solution to be able to,
Yeah,
you know,
I
the
think it's,
matrix that you looked at. If we saved, you know, if we went to a 1 pool solution and let the aerobics people
Want the
know,
table.
hey, you're gonna have to figure out how to, you know, play nice with everybody else. And vice versa, right? Those are-
Al, are you asking what would the difference be in cost?
Yeah, what would the difference be in cost? And then in the future, if people really, really wanted it, might it be able to add it later,
Got it.
make accommodations for it versus we have to do it now. And then later we said, hey, we really wanted a 2 pool solution. Let's rip it all out again and do it again.
Got it.
well, I think your survey answered your question. If you go back to the survey, you really had two primary groups that were expressing need for fun and activity, and you had another large percentage of the community that wanted fitness and wellness. And also, along with that fitness and wellness, you remember there was a large percentage that mentioned the short season. So the 2 pools, specifically the wellness pool, really addresses that well. That fitness, the exercise, your classes, which by the way, you can also do classes while you've got lap swim going on at the wellness. You can do classes in the big family pool. Your year-round usage. We can't cover a big pool. An automatic cover doesn't work. We're actually within 5 feet of the maximum at the 75-foot length. 80 feet is about the maximum for an automatic cover. From a cost standpoint, 2 pools. You know, you think about trying to accommodate your lap swim in 1 pool, which I've done in several communities that I've designed. And it ends up being, it's challenging. There's always a compromise.
Mhm.
You know, the more functions, the more people that I have to try to meet functionally in 1 pool, the larger that pool gets, the bigger the equipment gets, which bigger the pipe. You're probably cheaper from a surface square foot, cost per surface square foot. I kind of talk, I'm from here, if y'all can't tell that. The area, not Conisty. From a price per surface area square foot of water,
Mhm.
you're cheaper, less expensive to do like this versus trying to do 1 large pool.
So basically what you're saying is we get more for our money
You do.
on a square foot basis.
Thank you.
With a
You said it much
two-
better than I
two-pool
did.
solution.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Yeah,
if we just went more.
and your functional, your separation of those uses from morning till nighttime.
Mhm.
You know, you've got an opportunity, and if you notice, I put a raised planter, a nice raised planter right here to separate this area from the 0 entry is probably going to be more of a spot where kids are going to congregate. So you think about those Memorial Day, 4th of July, those big weekends when this place is at capacity, you're really going to this really helps to separate those groups and help everybody have a better experience.
I would encourage.
Good question.
I would encourage, though, to put some numbers out to let everybody know, hey, look, if we want one pool, we'd say $100,000 or whatever it is, right? The curve is going to be the curve, right? I'm a numbers guy. I'm a left brain kind of geek guy. So I like to see all that
You're
stuff.
not on the strategic planning committee, are you?
I am, it's been rumored.
That's
Uh,
good feedback, Al.
And then the second one is the overall footprint of the complex itself, right? So we have an overall footprint. Are you going to grow it in any direction? I mean, obviously not towards the pickleball, because you were going to
Just
intrude on their play, right?
Just
But-
on the side of the golf course end. The current wooden retaining wall behind your bathroom facility equipment room right here, it's about the same. We didn't grow that at all. We are growing a little bit right in here. Obviously, we're coming into we're kind of cleaning up your traffic flow right here is the attempt. And this is a good picture. We gained back two parking spaces over here that have never been striped. And like I said earlier, it's only a net loss of 4. And I think I actually can improve your handicap parking situation as well. But yeah, we're adding a little bit of space back here
Towards golf,
to the current footprint, yes.
towards the golf course itself, right?
Yeah,
And
so it's
and no
basically,
impact for the golfers though, either?
you're right. So I was going to address that. So basically, if you go to your current pool, if you go down there and look at the fence, look down that slope, the wall, the new wall is almost at the bottom of that slope, almost, not quite.
Thank you, Al.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
My name is Martha Land. I live at 41 Wadigi, Siogi. I got one of the longest words, I think, in honesty. I have two questions, and they really kind of hinge one on the other. 3.5 million is a lot of money, and with other friends we've been talking, there wasn't anything of rendering maybe for, what does 1.75 get you? What is 2? What is 2.5? 3 million get you? Because with contingency of 10%, this is very possibly going to even grow.
The 3.5 includes the 10% contingency.
Right, 10%, but you don't know what you're going to find once you start. I mean, the retention wall, I'm just wondering what that's going to run. Do we have to go all the way that far back? And then on top of that, my concern is what other projects will be underfunded with this? Those are my questions.
As I mentioned in the introductory comments, whenever you undertake a major capital project like this, there's such a thing as opportunity costs. If we spend the $3.5 million on the pool, you don't have that $3.5 million to spend it on something else. There's 2 reasons that you replace a pool. You replace a pool because you want to significantly upgrade the amenity, or you replace a pool because it has to be replaced. It's fully depreciated. Its useful life has been reached. Efficiencies are decreasing at an accelerating rate. And so there's the question of how do we make this meet the number one expectation of membership, a quality amenity now and into the future. You know, we could look at just tearing out the existing pool and building on the same footprint and not address any of the other issues that came forth pretty markedly in the survey. That would not be consistent with building a quality amenity for now and generations to come. And it was interesting in 1997, the quote by the then general manager, you know, this is not just about building for now. This is about building for now into the next 30 years. Mark just said that if we were to try and build and accomplish all the objectives and priorities voiced by members in a single pool configuration, that the costs would be likely equal or higher.
Great.
So to what degree do we want to scale back just to have what we have now when we know that wellness, physical activity, water activity is important, increasingly important. That's why we built the Activity and Wellness Center. And so we have a fully depreciated asset that's a significant component of the menu of amenities that we have that we need to replace. And what we're trying to do is think strategically, think long-term, get the member feedback, get the input from membership as to what's important for them, and as much as possible, provide a recommendation that is consistent with those priorities articulated by members. I suppose we could go through something to come up with a, like for like calculation. Is that what you're asking for? I just want to clarify.
No, so 3.5, there's a lot of things, even, I'm even thinking, why just remove that whole area that's being on the pickleball court? And, yeah, I was wondering, what is the cost to build that retention that's actually going to Hole 10 or whatever that
So you're
things, I'm saying, there's no other rendering that, I'm not saying let's not do.
It's itemized.
I'm saying,
There's nothing
all this
itemized.
fancy stuff. And when you're taking parking spaces away, when you're saying it's actually growing, that doesn't make sense to me.
right. There is going to be impact.
We added 20-some parking spaces right across the street. It's called the overflow park. That's why it was there.
And we also added the lower parking lot, 45 parking spaces. So we've got your comment. I think we understand it. Let's take a look at that and see what we come up with and if we can address that. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Zoe Forehand. I'd like to thank y'all for taking our feedback and considering. I have several probably short questions and then one comment. Will there be bathrooms to use during this construction for people at the pickleball courts since they're going to be torn down?
It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a necessary item.
Yeah, it's good. We'll have to address that, yeah.
Okay, and along with that, how many bathrooms will be the total count? Because right now, if someone is taking a shower and you're obviously not going to have someone go to the bathroom in there, so it renders that space unusable. Will that be taken into consideration? Will there's actually more bathrooms and
Tell us-
separate showers?
Tell us what you need, we'll get them.
Okay, because that's just silly. I mean, I know when I take a shower after the pool, I'm not going to let someone go and use the restroom that I don't know, obviously.
We're talking about during construction for the pickleball people.
Right, and then I'm asking afterwards as well. What's the final count of the bathrooms after construction has been completed? I don't think I saw that in there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how many were there?
How many
And how many were
comfort
there?
stations do we have now and how many will we have upon completion?
Right, well, since you're adding in 90 chaise lounges, I would assume that you're adding in more restrooms because there's going to be more people that have to use them.
3,
There's four vestibules in the women's. And I believe there's
I can't
2
remember.
vestibules and
It's
3
more than you
urinals in the
have now.
men's.
It's
Okay.
probably one more than you have now.
Well, that might not be
Each.
enough, really.
It's per code.
Okay.
It meets code. There's a code based on the
Mhm.
amount of water space, deck space.
But what
and-
about taking into the pickleball courts and the bocce courts? Like, there's people there too. They have to use the restroom as well. And now you have to, as you guys are going to try to remedy, go through, run all the way around, go through the gate and hope no one's in there. So that's something to take into consideration is maybe to add more than less
We will
because,
consider that. Thank you.
Okay.
I agree that's important.
It is really important. And then one of the other things is, will the pools be saltwater, which is,
No.
and why would that be? Why is that not a consideration since it's so much healthier? It aligns with the environmentally conscious nature of this community.
I can talk an hour. I
about
can
that.
give you an hour's lecture on why we don't use salt. There
Okay.
is, I'll be brief,
Okay.
since you brought it up. I didn't expect this. I get this question all the time, so.
Well, we just converted our pool to salt in Florida, and it's so much less expensive to operate. It's so much healthier for you. And I
Okay.
just thought it would be great to do it here since colleges are going in that direction. And
Who?
colleges and big communities are starting to go to more salt pools.
No, you're mistaken. Salt is going away.
Okay.
About 50% of the country's builders, like me, do not use salt at all. There's actually only one benefit, and there's a whole lot of negatives to salt. There's only one benefit. No, not cost, not health. The reason you think it's healthier is because, and I say this as gently as I can. I get animated when I talk about salt. The only benefit is soft water. If salt was not a natural water softener, you would have never heard of a salt cell, okay? That's the only benefit. We can give you soft, healthy feeling water. It's not healthier. It's actually more harmful. What we're doing, I'm gonna leave that to that. If anybody wants to really get into the salt
Mark,
conversation
Mark.
with me afterwards, I will gladly talk to you.
In your presentation on Monday, you mentioned
I
the
was going-
difference in the chlorine.
I was going there. So what we're doing, one of the biggest innovations, and this is healthier, are when you're talking about the sanitation side of pool water, is ozone and UV treatment. So the units that we're using now, they're combo. They're UV and ozone, so you get the benefits of both. The advantage of ozone is that it kills quicker and it kills more. The kill time is much faster than chlorine, and it kills a broader range of viruses and bacteria. Ozone also it only lasts 6 seconds in the water, and then it's gone. It does your oxidizing. If you have a pool in Florida, you know that you're shocking your pool by turning up your salt cell, right?
Yes, we don't have to do it very
You're
often, which
putting
has
it,
been so nice.
you're putting it on 100% to create a lot of chlorine. Well, what you're doing, if it's indoor specifically, and I addressed this the other meeting, an indoor pool that's using salt, these colleges, trust me, they are not. I do work on college pools. They're not using salt. They're going away from salt, and they're going to ozone. I'm on the board for the new rules that we're trying to revise, the North Carolina rules, public swimming pool rules. I'm pushing for requiring ozone, especially on indoor pools, because those gases that come out of the water when you oxidize, that's basically where that word comes from. You're superchlorinating, oxidizing, you're burning off that smell. That's stuff that needs to be oxidized. Those gases are extremely harmful. We don't even know what kind of health damage it's doing. Every college swimmer that swims indoors in a pool that superchlorinates with chlorine, that oxidizes with chlorine, has asthmatic problems. Talk to them. They all do. It's because they're breathing those chlorine gases that hover, they're heavy, they stay on the top of the water. In an indoor pool, they're not blown off like they are in an outdoor pool.
Well, thank you for addressing that and for letting
And if
us
you want to
know
talk
how
more,
No, as long as it's not just regular chlorine and it could be the most innovative, as you're saying. That's great.
the ozone actually reduces your chlorine. The ozones and UV system reduces the amount of chlorine, which goes to your operating cost, by up to 90%. I'm gonna tell you that it's 70%, and I'm being
Thank
really conservative.
And I just have one more quick comment. With the depth of the pool for the community pool, I saw a lot of the areas 3.5 feet
Yeah,
deep,
sloping.
which even though children aren't supposed to run and jump in the pool, they do. And that seems pretty shallow. Is there a way it can be a little bit deeper? Because I just don't want to create a liability for people. That seems more like a wading pool
The
rather
code,
than
the
like a
code
swimming
actually
pool.
has a limit,
Mhm.
a minimum and a maximum that I can put at the end of the shallow end.
Mm. Okay. Well,
I
thank you
can't
so
go
much.
much further.
All right. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diane Garvey, and I'm a daily pool user. I
All
love the
right.
fitness classes, lap swimming, and floating around on my noodles. So just a couple things that in a random order. On the recreational pool, those planters, and they do soften the look, but I'm just seeing with our wind and storms, debris in the pool. So that's one thing. And maintaining the plant. So that's one thing I think we should really think about. And as far as the furniture, I love that there's all those umbrellas. I am there a lot, and when we've had very busy days, that it's more of a demand for the tables with the umbrellas than the lounge chairs. I think because as families come in, when I've seen shortages, it's usually the tables, and that's
I think
something
you've
that
only
could be
got a handful, right?
addressed. So for the fitness pool, I have a couple questions. One, I'm very grateful that you're trying to make it as versatile as possible and that you've added a deeper end or are attempting to do that. Will that require a lane rope?
It will.
It will. Okay, and then two, in our quest to be as most versatile for shallow water fitness classes, deep water fitness classes, we just want to make sure that we're not going to create something that no one's happy with. Because like the shallow water people need it 4.5 feet, and you're going to have a lot of people coming to those classes. And the deep water want it deeper, but we don't want to make it versatile, try to make it versatile and then have no one happy. So that's another thing to talk about. And, and with the cover on the fitness pool, is it still, you can grab onto the edges and
Yeah.
pull yourself out? And a lot of times in the fitness classes, they use the wall to do fitness. So.
Yeah, there's no difference in the wall or the coping.
Okay, terrific. Thank you
Just
very
a little-
much.
Little track underneath.
Thank
the
you,
coping.
Diane.
I'm Nazan Kandal, and I live on Salola Lane. I have a couple of questions about the fitness pool. Were there any consultations with the water aerobics people, the people who teach those classes, many of whom have been here teaching for 11, 12 years,
I believe,
to ask what their opinion was of the depth of the pool?
yes.
So they didn't ask for something deeper than 6 foot? Because I'm
think-
5'11", and when I do deep water aerobics, I need something a lot deeper.
6.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's still not very deep for deep water aerobics for most people. And there are a lot of really, really tall people who do water aerobics. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what is the cost of the sun shelf?
I can't tell you that. I mean, that's,
Because do we need two? The thing that you sit on, that's where you can sit in 8 inches of water?
yes.
I don't remember. I mean, do we really need two?
It's the
Because
most,
I
it's
think
one of the
they're
most used,
expensive.
it's typically one of the most used spaces in a pool, residential or commercial.
Okay. The second thing is, and this is probably going to be very unpopular, do we need a pretty pool or do we need a functional pool? Because if I'm not mistaken, every one of those JAGs adds a cost on versus a straight line.
No, it's all about square footage. Price is all about square footage.
Okay, so there's no additional cost for having a little Jag with a little bit of
I
extra
mean, if you want an ugly
space.
pool, I mean, we can make it ugly, but I don't
But
understand
I'm not
that.
asking you to make it ugly. I'm asking it to maybe not cost $3.5 million, and somewhat similar to what the other lady said. How come we haven't been given an option for a $2.5 million or a $2 million pool? Why is it a $3.5 million pool? That's, one of the things that I'm interested in. The third thing is, how much what temperature will the cover on the pool keep the water at?
Say again?
What temperature will the cover on the pool keep the water at what temperature will it be when the cover is on? So if it's
Whatever,
on
whatever you
overnight,
guys set the heater at, it can be whatever temperature you want.
so it's not a sun-heated pool, it is a pool with a heater in it?
Yes,
Okay, and how is that going to be heated, by gas or by electric?
gas.
Okay. And you say that you're only going to lose 4 parking spots.
Yes.
I don't know if you've been there on a Monday morning when every single pickleball court is taken up, when we have 5-person bocce, we have 35 people in water aerobics, and we have some people swimming laps. I have had to park all the way on the bottom level near the fitness center because there are people parked along the road because there is no parking. The lower level is full. Everything here is full. Is there any way to make more parking?
We haven't looked at that, I can say that.
Pardon?
We haven't looked at developing additional parking elsewhere on
I
property.
would highly encourage you to show up on a Monday to come and see what it really looks like.
Okay.
Because it is busy.
I have driven by multiple times throughout the week, and you're right, there are certain people that need to park in the lower level of the clubhouse and activity and wellness parking.
I'll tell
And
you,
it's an additional 100 feet that needs to be traversed to
Which
get
is
to
not a big
bocce.
deal, but that's not the point. The point is you're taking away parking.
But I'm trying to keep it in perspective as well.
Right.
well,
Okay.
It's not like we're embarking on a 2-day trek, but I hear you. No, I know. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eileen Morris. My question is more of a comment for the board. Thank you for all the hard work you've done. This is really interesting information. We're spending, a lot of money. That's what it costs. I don't have an issue with the price. I have an issue with, I would like to have the board think about a lifeguard or someone in charge. It's a free-for-all. I have stopped going because I get hit in the head with footballs, I get hit with noodles. I work full-time, I go at night to relax, I go on a weekend to relax. It's not enjoyable. And if we're gonna spend all this money on a pool, it needs to be accessible to everyone. And there needs to be some law down there. Kids running, someone's gonna fall and get hurt, we're gonna get sued. I implore that you guys consider some kind of law down there. Yeah, I mean, even such as like an adult swim, like there's nothing like that. So you can't get away from being bombarded and attacked by everything going on at the pool.
Yeah.
So.
This is the second meeting and this is the second time we've heard that comment. And in following up, Nathan, you want to just share
Our plan is to add a full-time FTE pool attendant down there.
That'd be
manage the
great.
pool.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people that have stopped going to the pool this year because they don't want to fight with somebody. People are getting water gunned in the face and they're asking the kid to stop and the grandparents yelling, "Don't yell at my kid." And, people just need to be polite and respectful, and it's just not happening right now.
100%.
That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen.
Hi, my name's Joan Green. I live on Okanoa Circle, been here 8 years. I wanted to follow up with the comments about the parking at the pool and the crowded on Monday mornings and suggest maybe we could look at scheduling that might alleviate some of that problem, coordination of scheduling. The question that I have is about the assessments and you said that this would be paid out of the 2 funds, one being the amenity fund. And I'm wondering if it will deplete the amenity fund. And then if so, what will happen about that? Then also, there was a question on the strategic planning survey that referenced assessments also. You're hoping to do this without assessments. But if that fund is depleted or close to depleted and we have another, the road falls away someplace and we face an emergency like that again, how are we going to be faring with that? And
Sure.
are we are we working hard to avoid assessments and increases in our monthly fees?
Yes.
Thank you.
You'll recall that there were a number of hurdles that we needed to get over before we made a final recommendation. And one of those hurdles is review by the Finance Committee with regards to, number one, the adequacy of the existing funding of the amenity reserve. And number two, there is a hard deck, if you will, below which we don't want to go with the amenity reserve. Our very fine Finance Committee Chair Keith Butler is here tonight. Keith, I believe that number is $1.5 million or $1.7 million, something like that. So basically, before this thing goes to the community for the vote, we'll have the final contract and the final bids. We can then provide that to the Finance Committee. They will review that, determine, number one, the adequacy of the existing funding to cover the costs, including the 10% contingency. And number two, that as we project forward, we don't go below that safety cushion, that hard deck of $1.5 million. Okay, so that's one of the hurdles that that's a consequential, very real hurdle that we have to get over on this thing.
That's helpful.
Thank you. Keith, yes, Keith, please clarify.
Let me just say one thing. No, everything you said is correct. Let me just explain one thing about the capital reserve, because we've talked about 400,000 coming out of the capital reserve. Every single asset, long-lived asset at this community is documented, and we are reserving funds based on the useful life of those assets and when they need to be replaced. So the 400,000 that we're taking from the capital reserve has been set aside for pool-related replacements. So that's why that number is specifically 400,000, because components of the pool have been reserved in that capital reserve, and that's why the 400,000. Right now, in the amenity reserve fund, we have almost, don't hold me to this number exactly, but shy of $5 million. So we'll be taking about 3.1 out, and the new assessments will be coming in for 2027 from your annual assessment, and marked amounts along with amenity fees, lot sales, new home starts and everything. Those amenity fees go back in to build up that fund. So right now, our current projection, pending final numbers and everything, is we will not go below the 1.517 number at all, and we will replenish. Now, we won't replenish it back, but I would say current projections would say it's probably going to be at least 3 years before we can do any other major multi-million-dollar capital project, which I will not, I mean, as chair of the Finance Committee, I've lived in this community 25 years. I've chaired the Finance Committee. My 6-year term will end at the end of March next year. I will not let this happen to this community financially.
Thank you.
Keith, your term ends next year, but who's counting? Is that?
He's around. He's around.
6 years.
And you too. Just a follow-up quick question on that, then those, okay, I get the terms mixed up. Amenity fees, what the new owners are charged when you buy in?
Well,
What do you call, is that
part of our
amenity fee?
assessment, all of our assessment, part of that goes into the amenity reserve.
Okay.
Okay, and then when new homes are built or a lot is sold, that all goes into the amenity reserve fund.
That's what I'm talking about. That has gone up in recent years,
Yes.
and I've got a neighbor who's having trouble selling their house. And prices are coming down, and are we
We are-
looking at changing those or holding those steady?
The amenity fees, we're working on the budget right now, so for 2027. So I can't say
Don't
at
know.
this point. We had our first budget round of budget meetings today. We'll have another round tomorrow.
Okay,
So
very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Mack from 81 Okinawa Court. Dave, when you sent out the survey, was it a one per household or all members of the household responded?
believe that was open to all members of the household.
The static group that we sent it to was primary member and secondary non-voting member.
So 2 per household.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that would be a population of 3,000 based on 1,500 approximately, and you got 600 respondents. That's a pretty low percentage. Plus, you got 16% that also said do nothing. That takes another 100 people out of your response. I think you're spending an awful lot of money with very little input from the majority of the community. If you would have put the survey, if you would have put on the survey, this is a survey of the pool relative to all the other recreational activities in the community, you might have got more than 600 people because there's not that many people that use the pool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Dave. My name's Bear Bala. I live on Wahuhu Court, right across from the Lake Atagahi. The question is a little related to that, but I know that we're also in the process of putting together a strategic plan. You've been advertising for committee members and it's going, and this is beautiful and well thought out, and it's, you know, just luxurious. It's awesome. But I wonder if where it fits in the scheme of things here, because I've lived through the clubhouse debacle, 10 years ago, whenever it was, when it was a mess. You were here, right? And it seems like, are we shooting at this before we know where it fits in the scheme of things? I'd just like your reaction to that.
This was a topic of extensive discussion within the board, between the board and the strategic planning committee, the timing of the pool survey and the timing of the sequencing of the pool replacement project. There was a number of factors that went into the final decision by the board to accelerate the pool project. First and foremost was the fact that the pool the existing pool has been around since 1997. It has reached and exceeded its useful life. We're looking at major ongoing maintenance and upkeep and equipment repairs and repairs to fully depreciated infrastructure. So it's strategically, we didn't feel it was a question of if we replace the pool, but when and how we replace the pool. Point number one. Point number two, when we looked at pursuing the project now versus pursuing the project in a year, there were a couple of issues that really popped up. Number one, increased construction costs 12 months out, anywhere from 8 to 10%. You know, that's $300,000 to $350,000. That's a not inconsequential sum of money. So that factored into our decision making. Thirdly was contractor contingencies. What's the status of the contractor pipeline now in terms of projects that they have in the queue? What's happening around the region? Are there other projects that are in the development stage? And what impact would that have with regards to contractor availability if we pushed it out another year? And so those were the main considerations that we considered, we looked at before making the decision. We also looked at the financial implications. In an ideal world, we would have deferred this project until the completion of the strategic plan. But you know, there's an old adage in military planning, a good plan survives everything but contact with the enemy. You make a good plan and then you pop your head up and you look around and things have changed. And you have to improvise, adapt, and make mid-course corrections and kind of sometimes do things a little bit more on the fly. And we realize that that's what we've had to do in this particular case. It was not the easy thing to do. It's the more challenging thing to do. But we felt that given our roles of leadership within the community and given the significant potential financial impacts and logistical impacts. And given the fact that it's not whether we do the pool, but when we do the pool, all of those considerations led to the ultimate decision to sequence this at this point. Does that answer your question, Bear? Okay, thank you, Bear.
Hi, my name is Jim Farry. Been here 51 years. Seen a lot of changes in Coniston Falls. What is the purpose of the pavilion?
I'll take that one.
You want to do that?
Sure. Everybody's leaning on me. Basically, what we looked at for that.
What is the purpose of the pavilion? Got it?
We needed to have a shade structure, and we wanted to have a, if you look at what we have with the old facilities that we've got supporting, we've got a ping pong table in there and some other things that we have in there. We don't want to have, obviously, another area just to have a ping pong table up there. That was to be able to sit in shade. For those parents that want to be able to watch their kids and don't want to be.
That's a feature I did not see in the survey.
But we wanted to make.
You might garner more support, Larry, I don't know.
I will try. But having a facility where it's going to be elevated because of the terrain, where you've got 3 steps up, you got a better viewing angle of the pool. Parents can watch their kids. People that want to come down that are relatives, want to be with their family and want to be present, and they don't want to sit out in the sun, they can sit there. Those people that have got ambulatory issues, they can use that facility. It's ADA accessible. It's not to be used for anything else other than for basically residual, sitting, leisurely, shaded structure, nothing more. No bar, no food, no kitchen, nothing else.
So to be clear, we have how many new umbrellas that are going in?
40.
Okay, so that provides shade, right? Most people go to a pool to enjoy the sun and the water. Second, has anybody brought up the thought of rotating that footprint 180 degrees? You get rid of the building. There's all kinds of reasons why that building should not be sitting there next to the pickleball court. Another thing that happens is when you rotate that footprint 180 degrees, we get a lot of noise from the ladies exercising in the morning in the pool. You rotate that footprint 180 degrees, all of a sudden that noise goes away from the pickleball court. Anybody interested in that? Okay, so then the lap pool is closest to the pickleball courts. They make no noise. If the exercise people, they also have a noise situation that works for them in their favor because they're farthest away from the pickleball noise. So I encourage you to consider that. I don't have any reason why we don't have a pavilion use at all. If you flip the floor pan, you maintain all of the parking spaces that are there, which is just sidewalk space that we're giving up. That's makes no sense at all. And one other comment, on the entryway, there was a small gate that anybody could jump over. Does that mean we don't need fobs anymore? So, I mean, I saw a little gate in the entry building. I don't know. Robert, do you have a photo? Robert, do you have a photo of the entry?
The intent is there would continue to be fob
That's correct.
entry into the
Yeah,
pool.
but
Same fob gates we have currently.
yeah. So, I mean, that small gate is not going to keep anybody out. So was my point. So does anybody want to talk a little bit more about the pavilion? Do you need? I mean,
You basically have a shade structure now that's not really accommodating your use with where the current ping pong tables are. Shade structure.
Well, I agree.
Shaded areas.
You could expand the restroom area building out if it was flipped on the backside, perhaps. But there's going to be wind interference, there's going to be shadows, because actually the sun comes up in the left upper portion. That's where the sun rises.
Exactly.
So you're going to get shadows across this way from that building on court number 3.
Exactly what I'm showing right
3
here.
and 5. I mean, it just makes sense to flip it 180 degrees, get rid of the pavilion, gain parking spaces back, and get rid of the extra expense of that beautiful little sidewalk there with. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Looks like I'm the last one. My name is Nancy Zapp. I live at 26 Uskiwi Court. We've been here almost 5 years. And we love it here. And the pool is one of the things we love. And the pickleball. My husband plays pickleball, I swim. The comment that was made about 600 surveys having been completed, I'd like to comment to that. We have to assume that all of those people that did not complete a survey didn't because they don't care, or just don't care, or they would have. If we use that as an argument for deciding whether we want to improve our pool, we wouldn't improve our pool. We wouldn't have a recreation center. I assume it would have been a similar low turnout. These surveys typically don't get a huge majority. So I kind of disagree that that is an important factor in the decision making. So enough said.
Nancy, I want to make sure I understand your comment. You're saying that the low turnout for the survey is normal? I want to make sure I understood the gist of your.
Well, okay. Well, I don't know if anyone remembers how many people would have participated in a survey about the recreation center, but do we? Do we have any idea?
I don't have any memory of that, no. Are you saying that it's typical that we get these types of
Well,
low?
I'm just saying, I don't think that should be a criteria. I mean, everybody had an opportunity to voice their opinion.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
600 people did.
Gotcha.
And, okay, well, regardless, those people who did, they're the ones that are interested. We have this pool of money. You said something like $5 million we have in that account. So it's not a matter of not being able to afford it. We have to replace the pool. So I don't see that as being a factor in our decision making.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
Good evening. My name's Jim Allen. First of all, I want to say thank y'all for the work you do up here to take care of us. We all moved here for a reason. We've liked the people, we like the area, we like to play pickleball, we like to swim, we like to golf, we like to play tennis, and a lot of us like to hike, right? We all came here for a reason, all right? So everything we're talking about is important to all of us. And we're looking at how we're going to progress our community forward in the future. And looking at the pool is an outstanding idea. It's going to take care of us. It's going to take care of our kids, our grandkids, and people who are going to own up here in the future right now, all right? So the question I have to the group is this. You're doing amazing jobs at looking at moving forward. You did a 360-degree turn on everything up here that's at the pool today. You infringed on the pickleball courts. You changed to one side and moved it to this side. I got a question. Why did we decide to do that?
We're not infringing on the pickleball court at all.
No, I asked you, why did you decide? No, I understand that. You moved the structure from the other side of the pool to this side of the pool where the pickleball courts are. And we talked a little bit about what we're gonna do with sun and shadows. And if y'all don't play pickleball, it's real difficult. I'd love to be in the pool. I want a lot of sun. I don't want shadows. Okay, so I asked the question, why did we change from one side to the other, this whole plan where we already have infrastructure that's working well?
To improve the experience of both groups. This is the sound, your proximity is extremely unique because of the closeness, right? The building is going to do a really good job of blocking sound. This, by the way, you see these shadows right here? It's pretty easy to see right here.
Yeah, I see a lot of shadows. At what time of day did you take that picture? Go
That
ahead.
is in the morning.
Okay.
That is early morning.
I played a lot of pickleball in them courts. I would disagree with that picture, but go ahead. I played a lot of pickleball out here, so go ahead. That may be from up to top, but if you play and you come out there and sit with us on courts 4, 5, 1, 2, and you tell me how it looks.
Well, these.
All we're saying is this.
All I can go by is the way the court is oriented, and I kind of know what the sun comes up in the east and sets in the west. And that's what I tried to do. This may be at, I don't remember exactly what time, if it's 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock, but it's fairly early. It's before noon.
So the move from putting flipping it around because of noise on both sides, correct?
Noise primarily, yes, and just to give you a sense of space.
So you're a pickleball player, you got a lot of people playing pickleball, and I guarantee you we have a lot more playing pickleball, and I respect the people who swim. I'm all for the people having their space. I like that. That enhances our community, all right? But the key is this. When we sit and play, you've now put us in a funnel with no air. You've now blocked all our airflow. We got probably 80% of our airflow is blocked because it's to the left of this picture up here. Can you tell me what you're putting on the back of that fence? So it's not a fence there.
Well, I don't know if I can agree with that because your prevailing wind in western North Carolina is out of the northwest.
No, thank you. Thank you, Jim. Southwest. So what you've got is this. You have now put. So right now what you've done is now you put a solid wall that is going padded wall that's blocking all the air, and then a solid building that's blocking all the air on 4 of our 6 courts. You go play in that sauna that's going to be there. That's not a fair place to put us to play. Right now it's opened. It allows air to flow back and forth. I understand people worried about, I think it's more worried about people watching people than actually hearing, okay? Because there's a lot of noise going back and forth. It really is, okay? But when people are out there together as a group, we don't say anything about them playing out there having a good time in the morning when it's all time, and most of that time is from spring to the end of summer. We celebrate that. Love to see the activity. We have a lot more people playing pickleball then. But the areas should be open so the air flows through. Are we watching what people are doing in that pool? Heck, we don't care. Are they watching what we're playing pickleball? No, they don't care. So why do we move it this way and block all our airflow so that we can enjoy?
I appreciate that, and that's a good perspective. That's a good perspective. You know.
I want to say thank you for enhancing our community, because that's what you're trying to do is enhance.
We're trying.
All we ask for you is to look a little bit and say, are we enhancing everything? Because I promise you, there's a lot more pickleballers that's going to come to this community, that's going to play. It's going to continue to get bigger and bigger because us old folks can't play that tennis ball. I love tennis. I just can't play it anymore, right? So thank y'all for what you do. I'm not fussing. I'm saying thank you. All right?
Thank you, Jim.
We appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
I know I had a turn, but can I have another turn?
Of course you can.
Okay. As the pickleball group, is a lot of people here tonight, you're going to hear a lot of pickleball perspective. I'm for a new pool. I know we need one. I'm not saying that we don't need a new pool. I'm just saying, like many people here, that this rendering, which you're calling a preliminary proposal, may not really be the best thing for our group. And when you are enhancing, you're enhancing an amenity that we own, the pool, making it bigger, making it more functional, making it better. But it seems to us that you're doing it at the expense of another amenity, which we also, in your principles, need to take care of and be fiscally responsible for.
Absolutely. And as we stated at the beginning of the presentation, this is a preliminary presentation. Two purposes of these meetings: communicate clearly to you what we're looking at, get back from you feedback. And that's what we've received tonight. And that's consistent with the purpose and goal of this meeting. And, you know, that's all I can tell you. The proof in the pudding will be in the eating. The question is, given the feedback, what happens now? And what additional feedback will happen?
And maybe what needs to happen now is that this preliminary plan is shared more fully with at least the Pickleball Committee Board and the Facilities Planning Committee to at least look at some of the suggestions, whether it's rotating, whether it's changing, you know, whether it's leaving our fence and building on the other side, whatever it is, but get feedback from the user group that it's impacting the most.
We are in violent agreement.
He's back.
Hurry up, it's almost 8 o'clock.
No problem. This will be really quick. Through the years, as I said, I've been here 51 years, not full-time, but I've seen the whole program, 71 on, okay? Anyway, there's been many studies on pool improvement, heating it and closing it. Volunteers through the years have spent innumerable hours putting really great thoughts together. And somewhere in our archives, we should review all of those little comments. The biggest obstacle at one point in time was the heating of the pool in the wintertime. And they came up with all kinds of ideas and stuff. And I would recommend that you look for some of those thoughts and stuff when you're doing this. One other thing for the pool person, has anybody ever thought, you want to make an impact, has anybody ever thought about a black marcite pool for the lap pool?
Code won't let us do that.
Code will not appear, okay. Yeah, because it makes the water look like really dark blue. It's very aesthetic, and it also warms. I would think the sun would hit that and actually help warm that pool. I don't know, but if it's against regs, then you can't do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have one more shot.
Craig, we've got a person waiting in line.
Hi, I'm Mark Siviak. In the years that I've been here, I've never been in the pool, so I'm here because of the pickleball situation. And I'm thinking about the people that want to be at the pool. Some want to be in the shade, some want to be in the sun. Given the sun pattern crossing from upper left to lower right, I would think that if you put the pavilion on the golf course side, that gives you shade throughout the day for those that want it. And I'm not still clear on what the pavilion is. It's not a full open air pavilion from what I gather. It's got some indoor space. Is that true?
It's open. It's open.
Does the pavilion have indoor space or is it just outdoor space?
It's basically outdoor. There's two walls. You got the front wall and you got the side wall. It's all open to the pool area. That's where the vinyl curtains are that Mark mentioned in the rendering.
Just from the pictures that they showed earlier, it looked like there were doors, windows, and there was an interior space.
If you look out, if you're in the parking lot, you're looking in towards the pavilion. That's where the entry is. And there are two windows over there, I believe you had in the drawing. And then a wall between there, partial wall to the fitness pool area, totally open into the pool area. And we have a storage room over on the right side.
Okay, so primarily an open space, but shaded for the people that want to be out in the sun.
Correct.
So on the golf course side would seem to be the most practical spot, and then that leaves the parking lot side wide open for the people that want to be in the sun, because that's going to be sun exposure throughout the day and gives you a bigger area. So that was one concern I had. Plus, you've got an existing infrastructure with the bathrooms as they are now on the clubhouse end of the pool, as opposed to putting it on the pickleball side. So just from a cost savings, it seemed like, why not use the existing infrastructure where your plumbing is set up, save that cost and leave the building over on that side. And if I'm on the golf course, I can hear pickleball. If you're going to be at the pool, that building may cut back a little bit, but you're going to hear pickleball. So I don't see that as a real sound issue at all. I just can't imagine that that building is not going to impact the pickleball play during the months of construction. It's going to impact those courts.
During
At some
construction,
point,
it
we're not
sure
gonna be
will.
able
We
to use
can't,
those courts,
we
right?
can't help that during construction. It's going to impact a couple of
Yeah,
courts.
it's
there.
inevitable. Those courts are going to
inevitable.
be impacted. So we know that we're not going to have 6 courts throughout the winter while this construction is going on. We're going to lose those 2 courts.
For short periods, hopefully, yeah.
Well, and fortunately, it's during the winter time as the planning makes sense to have it done when we have a lower usage at that point. But if you've got the existing building already over there with the infrastructure, plumbing, drainage, and everything else, why not put that building back over there and
It's a
leave it
very
there?
minor savings, but I understand what you're saying.
And I support all the other comments about airflow and everything else, because right now we've got a fence, I'm going to guess it's a 10-foot fence, and the pictures that you show with the shadows, we've got probably 25% of the courts covered in shade, and it does make it more difficult, so we're waiting for the sun to go a little bit higher and get rid of the shadows on the court.
In the morning?
That building's going to make it a permanent situation, as far as I can
You
tell.
talk about in the morning or the evening?
In the morning and throughout the good part of the day, you're
Yeah.
going to have shadows on the courts. It makes it difficult to play.
Yeah.
And plus, you got the situation with the airflow. I mean,
Yeah.
and the winds, if you've been on the courts, whether the prevailing winds are coming from one direction or another, they come from every direction when we're on those courts. So just putting up a barrier is going to impact some of that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Jane, I just want you to explain the fitness pool versus the other pool as far as like, where's the water aerobics going to be? How many people are going to be able to fit in there? Is it just for swimming? And there's only 3 lanes, but I think, don't we have 4 now? Or do we have 3? No, I mean, in the morning, you can do the whole width across. And that gets crowded in the morning and you have to wait your turn. Is that gonna accommodate us? So could you explain the 2 pools?
You've got 3 lanes in the wellness pool, as we stated earlier. You've also got the opportunity to have classes in the family pool.
But it's
If you
not
choose to
really deep
schedule those.
enough.
Excuse me?
It's not deep enough in like the 3.5 and then it's too deep in the 5 foot. So
There's everything in between, so you can find your depth. If 3.5 is
so
shallow
are
in
the
the,
fitness class is gonna be in that pool?
I don't know, it's up to
I
you.
mean, that's kind
we
of
haven't made that
important to
determination.
know.
If you don't need deep water, you can have, you've got a lot more area for fitness classes in this pool now than you have currently.
Another thing, you have kids with diapers that now go in the kiddie pool. What are you doing with this pool?
You mandate that kids wear swim diapers, and that's
They're not
pretty
allowed
standard.
to be in there. They have to be in the kiddie pool right now.
They wear swim diapers in
They're
most
not
all
allowed,
commercial
well,
pools.
the way it is now, they're not allowed to be in there unless they're potty trained.
In all of my other communities, and I've been in 6, and even in my personal communities, I have young children myself, we wear swim diapers. They don't, and yeah, we encourage them to be potty trained, but that's difficult to enforce.
Okay,
have
so
a
you're not
fecal-
doing anything about that.
We didn't say we're not doing anything about that.
Okay, another thing I wanted to say is, you only have 1 pool that you're going to vote on. And if it gets voted down, then you're losing a lot of time. What if you had 2, one that's simpler than this and this one, and had people vote on both of them so you don't lose time getting a pool done in the wintertime, so we don't have to wait another year?
Good thought.
there are the design costs associated with the second design as well that we have to consider.
Well, when you're considering 3.5 million, what's,
And we're considering something that, again, is based upon the input from the survey and the attempt to address the priorities as articulated by members.
okay, now I wanted to ask a question about the cover. Is it just like a flat cover that keeps the heat in? Or
Yes,
is it a big?
No, it's on the water.
it's a flat
Well, who's
cover.
going to use it when it's 30 degrees or 40 degrees outside? I mean, you can get in, it's going to be nice and warm, but when you come out, you're going to have frozen hair.
You don't have to use
So-
it those days.
What?
You don't have to use it those days if it's too cold.
Yeah, but you're hardly going to have anybody using it. They say they're going to use it, but you watch, they're not going to. I think you're trying to accommodate people who think in their mind, yeah, this is great, I'm going to go use it. And when reality sets in, they're not really going to do that. So just something to keep in mind.
Thank you. Craig, last question.
I'm gonna make it quick. Is the plan, and I got here a little late, the proposed construction schedule is to start this fall and have it ready in July of '27, is that correct?
That's correct.
So all these comments about we're gonna flip this thing 180 degrees, 360 degrees, wake up and smell the coffee. That ship has sailed. This is the design. I think it's a good design. I think it's incorporated about all the comments you could want. The issue with the shade on the pickleball courts, we put up windscreens around them that stay up all spring, summer, and fall. And that creates a shade situation a little bit in the morning on the side where the screens are. Do you need that whole roof, the whole length of on that one side adjacent to the courts? That's easy enough to leave off, but this other stuff people are talking about is like a major redesign, and there's no way you're going to maintain the schedule unless you stay with this
Absolutely.
plan, and I like it.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Last question, Nancy.
It just came up, it just came to me, the comment about, well, how could we use the pool in the winter because it would be too cold when you get out of the water. It just reminded me, we stayed at a resort once where it was actually in Arizona in the winter, of course, much milder than here in the winter, but nevertheless, we swam in the pool, which was heated, was nicely heated, when it was about 50 degrees out. What made it possible was a hot tub that was right next to the pool, and next to the hot tub were the restrooms. So you went from freezing cold when you got out of the pool into the wonderful warm hot tub, got out of that and ran into the restrooms. This was all close together. So this subject of a hot tub has never come up. Has it been ever discussed? That's my last question. Thank you.
You want me to address it?
Yes.
Let me address this one before you raise that one. We occasionally see hot tubs, spas in communities like this. It's less and less. What we find is that people don't use them. They're a lot. It costs as much for for your community, your maintenance costs to maintain one spa as it does that entire wellness pool in a year's time. Actually, it's probably pretty close to a pool 2/3 the size of your family pool. Those spas are heated to 100, 104 degrees, anywhere from 95 to 104. You may vary that, but year round, no cover. You're just burning gas all the time. Well, if you want to hire somebody to come do that every evening, that's the reality.
Okay, last question.
Thank you. My name is Chris Marquardt. I live 1165 Yagugu. And my question is, it seems to me like we have two alternatives. Number one, not do anything, or number two, go with Ritz-Carlton here. What are our alternatives? I have real concerns about the cost because it is not going to stay in budget. It is not, any of us who built houses know that that is absolutely not going to happen. So somebody asked, what do we get for $2 million? What do we get for $2.5 million? That's a valid question. If we say this is too much, what are our alternatives here?
We've heard the question. We appreciate it. We will ponder it and deliberate on it and get back to you. This is the second of 4 meetings. It's been very exciting, active. We appreciate, we've accomplished our mission. We've shared with you what the vision is. We've received from you feedback. That's exactly what we hope to do by having these meetings. There's 2 more. There's one on Saturday at noon, I believe, and one on Tuesday at 3. So if you haven't gotten enough bites of the apple tonight, come on back on Saturday and Tuesday. And we appreciate your input. Have a great evening. Thank you.